This is Coach Lee with myexpatcoach.com, and I'm going to talk to you about how long it takes for no contact to start working and when does no contact start working. Take a second and click the subscribe button below along with the notification bell so that you can be notified when I have more content that's helpful to your situation. So that's the subscribe button and the notification bell. So a lot of people ask in YouTube comments, emails, and on coaching calls, when does no contact start working? Because obviously you're wanting it to move quickly. You're wanting to get your ex back as quickly as possible, and you're kind of wanting to have an idea in your mind of what's going on, what they're thinking. And I do have a few videos about that, about what's going on in the mind of your ex during no contact. As far as when no contact starts working, it probably doesn't surprise you that I can't just give you a day number, like 17 days after the breakup, because people are just all over the place. And the breakups, it's very important what happened at the breakup and what the relationship was like, what this person is like, and what they've gone through in the past. It also matters how long the two of you have been together. If it's been a long time that you two were together, that can affect things. Just like if you two were only together for a little bit of time, that will affect things. And it's not always in the same way. For example, sometimes people who have been in a relationship for a long time, that means that no contact starts working very quickly. Other people who have been in a relationship with someone for a long time, it can mean that no contact will take a while to start working because there are other details that matter here. It depends on how long they stayed in the relationship when they wanted out. Because most of the time, almost always, the person who is breaking up with you has been thinking about it. They have been planning this even. They have been slowly getting there, and then at some point they decided that the breakup is what they want. That they want to break up with you, they don't see a future with you, and they want to lead their lives separately of you. But that doesn't mean that they just break up with you right away. A lot of times they don't want to hurt you, they don't want to go through the awkwardness, they want to make sure this is what they want to do, or for some people, they want to have somebody else ready to go to. And I know that hurts to hear if that's happened to you, but sometimes that can be the case. So there's a lot that goes into this. And if they were wanting out of the relationship for a while and just couldn't bring themselves to do it, then that can make no contact take longer. Because the biggest thing we need to know is, when does it start having an effect on them? Because if there were a lot of circumstances that made them want out, if you made the breakup difficult by begging and pleading, then the relief period can be longer. Basically, they can enjoy the breakup for a longer amount of time, especially if you respond with a lot of negativity. If you are pouting, if they see you out in public and you're sad, if you text them and try to get them to talk to you and just give you another chance and give the relationship another chance, these things can delay when no contact starts working because the person keeps thinking that they're broken up with you and they're going to start feeling relieved, and then you do something or they see you and you seem really sad. It makes them feel guilty and it makes them feel bad, and it kind of starts the process over, and they basically get 2 or 3 days again where nothing happens, and then they start feeling relieved and sort of in a la land fake post breakup environment where they don't really feel the breakup because they feel like they could get you back any second if they wanted you, and so it's artificial. There's no loss for them. And so the real key of when no contact starts working is when your ex starts feeling loss or the fear of loss. Because at the moment, at least if your breakup has just happened, your ex likely feels no loss and no fear of loss because they broke up with you. And so you as the one being dumped, you felt the loss. Your ex, however, did not, because it was in their control. They decided for this to happen. And they also feel that they could get you back any second if they wanted you. And so they're not even feeling the real consequences of this. If they're thinking, this is easy because they are feeling relieved. They're over the hump. They got it out of the way. And they feel like if they wanted you to be, that you'd still be an option because you have not removed yourself from that. You have not given them any fear of loss yet. So they get this time period where it's just totally a fake breakup, as though it didn't even happen. They just live as though the breakup didn't happen because you are in backup plan mode, as I've talked about in lots of my other videos. But that's where no contact is your best friend, because it helps them to believe and to project a future where you have moved on. And part of that is because your ex wonders why you're not reaching out to them. They kind of expect you to do that. And so when that doesn't happen, they begin to wonder what you are doing. If you have found something to focus on, or if you're hanging out with friends or other people, or maybe even another potential romantic partner, their mind can kind of go all over. And at first it doesn't bother them a lot because they will remind themselves of the reasons that they broke up with you. And that will kind of be their solid ground that they will go back to over and over. But because a breakup is almost always the response of emotional attraction falling, while they are without you and while they are not hearing from you, the attraction will go up because you're not there. You're scarce. They are curious about you, which is a precursor to attraction. They begin to notice that you are out of their lives, that they're not getting texts from you, they're not seeing you, they're not planning weekends with you. And so these things will cause usually some emotional attraction to increase. It's not a massive amount, but it is some. And that's all we need right now. We just need some progress, because when you combine curiosity and some of that attraction going up, it can lead to preoccupation, to where your ex is constantly wondering what you're doing, why you're not reaching out. And then they begin to wonder if they made the right decision, because they are playing you and playing memories over and over in their mind. And they begin to doubt, because they do remember some of those good times. They do remember those times when they wanted to be in the relationship. And so you've got several factors working in their minds. The more that they think about you without you being there can mentally torture them. Because whereas if you were there constantly, they would get tired of it and your value would go down. But when they see you in their minds constantly and they're preoccupied with you, that's when your value will go up, because they will want to have that fulfillment from you in real life. They will want you to actually be there, and you're not. And so they will go back to their imagination over and over again to get some of that fulfillment, to feel some of your presence, but it won't be enough. Eventually, they will feel they have to reach out to you. And so that is key. What usually pushes them over this next hump, so to speak, is when they have the fear that you will move on, they have the fear of loss, and they lose the ability to expect you to be the one to reach out to them. So they get to a point where they say, he or she is not going to reach out to me. She's not going to reach out to me. If this is going to happen, I've got to do it, because I think they're moving on. I think I'm losing them. And so that's when the tables are flipped, because you felt the loss after the breakup and they didn't. That's why it hurts so bad. That's why you feel it so badly in your stomach. That's why it's hard to eat. That's why it's hard to sleep. That's why you just feel that you are in deep sorrow over this. It's because such a loss has happened and you feel it. We've got to get them to feel that as well. And when they lose the ability to expect you to reach out and to start doubting that you're going to ever contact them again, which is what you're kind of going through, you're wondering, is it going to happen? Are they going to? Do I have a chance? When they start feeling that doubt, they lose the ability to expect you to reach out, because they had been expecting you would do it. They thought you'd beg and plead and keep going that way because they broke up with you. That's a boost to their ego. They feel they're the ones pushing you aside, dismissing you, and so they feel they're higher than you. No matter what they say, they do feel that way because you're the one wanting them back. They're the one who broke up with you. So that's what they feel. But when they start to feel that you are the one who might be gone, that flips the tables. And that's when no contact basically is fulfilled as far as what we want for it to do. We want it to totally flip the tables, where they have the fear of loss, they have the preoccupation with you, they have this intense curiosity about what you're doing, and they just feel like they have to know. And then they start to really internalize that fear of losing you, and they begin to feel desperate that they have to get you back and that they've made a terrible mistake. Now that time frame, I've seen it all over the place. I've seen it take a week. I've seen it take 6 months. I've even seen it take a couple of years. It all depends on where their mind is. And the best thing that you can do is go into no contact strongly as soon as possible. Do not reach out to them. Don't be cold. Don't be rude. If they do reach out to you about something they need from your place or getting some information on something, just be polite and casual, because you don't want negativity, because they will interpret that as you being bitter, trying to send a message to them or something like that, which they will think he or she still wants me back, or else they wouldn't feel this way. You don't want them to feel that they really rattled you. I go over a lot of this in my emergency breakup kit, which I've linked to in the description below, just in terms of how to make sure that when they get to this point and they reach out to you, that you can make sure you get them back, not just temporarily, but for good. And also some things you can do during no contact that you haven't even thought of that will make it even more effective. But no contact starts working at different times for different people. They have to get to the point where they have the fear of loss and they don't expect you to be the one to reach out. That's when. And of course, things like curiosity and the other things that I've talked about really magnify it. And I go over that in detail in my emergency breakup kit. You can also schedule a coaching call with me at myexpatcoach.com. And again, please click the subscribe button below and the notification bell so that you can be notified when I have more videos like this. And that includes videos on attraction, relationship dynamics, commitment, and breakups. This has been Coach Lee with myexpatcoach.com, creator of the emergency breakup kit. Thank you for watching.